Hi, welcome to Being Mindful. I'm Susan, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I lead virtual group meditations. And in today's meditation, the request was to help with feeling overwhelmed, like a thousand things to do and not knowing where to start. So, what we do in this meditation is focus on what that word even means, what it means to us, and how it ends up making us feel. We begin to be with that emotion so that we're in a position then to take better actions. So I hope that this is helpful to you. Let's get started. Well, as we transition into this time of meditation today, if a feeling of overwhelm is what you're trying to get help with, meditating can feel like um, something that is interfering with your ability to do all the thousand things that you feel like you have to do. So I think it's important to acknowledge that we are going to set aside this time just for a few minutes, and that this little investment in ourselves might help to center our minds so that we're better able to handle the feelings of overwhelm that surround us. So, just for a moment, allow whatever those thoughts and tasks and to dos and responsibilities, whatever they are, to move into the background. So, they're not going to go away, but can you just move them to the side for a few minutes so that you can focus on what's happening right now? I'll invite you to move your body a little bit, to begin to move into whatever posture you'd like to assume for this meditation. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, but it's fine to have them open as well. And sit with intention, some alertness, but not rigidity. Beginning to notice the ground beneath the feet, the chair, the floor, the bed supporting the body. Noticing the breath moving in and out of the body. And there's no need to breathe in any special way. We're just breathing as we do, but noticing it. Noticing that we're breathing and noticing what it feels like to breathe. Observing the physical sensation of the movement of breath as it enters the body and fills the lungs and then is released. We can begin to contemplate this idea of being overwhelmed or feeling overwhelmed. I'll invite you to consider the word overwhelm and what that means to you. How do you define overwhelm? and notice whether there's a negative or a positive connotation to it. We might be overwhelmed by the number of things that we have on our plates, our work plates, our personal plates, our relationship plates. We can also be overwhelmed with gratitude or love. We can be overwhelmed by the number of possessions we have. Just exploring for a minute this word that we use. And as you consider any particular definition, you might notice what's happening in the body as you think about what it feels like to be overwhelmed in some way. So, taking it from this cognitive level of what overwhelm means, or the ways in which life is overwhelming us, we can move into the impact that overwhelm has on the body. And in this moment, we can allow ourselves to feel whatever it is that is coming up for us. If it's a feeling of overwhelm that we're struggling with, we can just be with what it feels like to be overwhelmed by our circumstances, by responsibilities, by whatever. We can give ourselves a little compassion around this difficult time that we're experiencing. Likewise, if it's a feeling of overwhelm that is pleasant, overwhelmed with joy or gratitude or love for another person or whatever it is, we can fully experience that too. Really bask in that expansive emotion. Not take it for granted. As we sit with these emotions, we might notice that it's not a static feeling. There might be little pulses of emotion, or a steady rising or falling of the emotion. When we pay attention to what's happening emotionally within us, we can begin to see how things change. When whatever we're experiencing is a difficult emotion, the awareness that things change and move and rise and fall can be a comfort. We're not going to feel like this forever. But when the feeling is a positive, glowing feeling, the fact that it's not going to last forever is also a reality. But we begin to notice that we can abide what is happening. We can be with it. We can be uncomfortable and still do what's important to us. And perhaps from this space of being with the difficulty of overwhelm, the joy of overwhelm, from this grounded place, perhaps there's some clarity that arises around what's next, where to head. If there were 16 things calling your attention, perhaps from this place where we are willing to be with the feeling of overwhelm, the most important thing begins to rise to the surface so that we can tackle it from a centered place. Or from this place where we have fully experienced joy or gratitude or whatever it is that we feel overwhelmed with. We can begin to carry that into our day as well. As we ease out of this meditation and begin to transition to the end, I'll invite you to move once again, to stretch, to wiggle fingers and toes. Begin to open your eyes if they've been closed, or lift your gaze. And take a moment to reflect before we move on to whatever it is that is next for us. Thanks for being with me today for this meditation. I'd love to hear what you experienced and noticed, what was surprising, what wasn't helpful at all. I'd love to hear that in the comments if you'd be willing to share. A thumbs up is greatly appreciated and makes me feel really good about doing this stuff. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope that you'll do that so that you can be with me for future meditations. Here at the end, I will leave a link to an anxiety playlist because I think overwhelm tends to go hand in hand with anxiety. And I have lots of meditations on that topic. So hopefully, if you need more, you can find more. Thanks so much and have a great day.